Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell said the bank doesn't have the confidence to cut rates, even though inflation has eased from its peak levels. And I do want to bring in Jacqueline Schadeck, who is a certified financial planner. And Jacqueline, I'm not sure if you, oh, perfect, if you can hear me, but I'm curious to ask you this. What is the reasoning behind that decision?
Thank you for having me. I think that it's important that we note that the Federal Reserve has been taking a look at all of the economic data that's out there to understand when exactly they want to reduce rates. And so, as you said, they had penciled in 3 rate cuts for this year. However, economic data has been very positive. And so it's leading them to think that maybe they'll do 1 rate cut this year. One of the leading economic indicators that they have been looking at is actually what we call the Personal Consumer Expenditures Index. And so this has been hanging pretty closely at about 2.8% for this last several months. And so due to this positive economic data that they've been seeing, they're considering reducing the amount of cuts that they're going to have.
So for the average American, when they hear this news, is it good news or is it bad news for the average consumer?
That's an important question for us to think about, because in the economic space that we're in right now, we have a lot of people who are both savers and both borrowers. And so for those who are on the saving side of the economic space that we're in right now, those who are savers that put money into high yield savings accounts, that put money into CDs, all of those people are seeing increases on their savings, on their earnings. So this is great, right? However, if you're a borrower right now, you have a mortgage that you're looking to get, or you already have, you have credit cards, you have car loans, all of those things can see increased rates. And so that's not going to be helpful for you as the average consumer.
Yeah, and I did want to ask you that because a lot of people are, they can't afford to perhaps buy a home. We're going to the grocery store, the gas pump, and it is very painful for a lot of Americans. So again, when we take a look at this and we take a look at the economy, can we expect prices to go down anytime soon?
That's a great question. A lot of us are really feeling squeezed at the gas pump and in prices. And so it's important to note that we can absolutely see some costs go down. So to be expected for those who are doing summer travels, right? You're hopping in the car, you're going to visit family, you're headed to the beach or to the mountains, you're going to see gas prices remain pretty steady for the summertime. Don't know exactly about the fall, but you should be able to squeeze in that summer travel. And in terms of other prices, like I was saying, that personal consumer expenditures index is really what's indicating prices and what we're willing to spend. So that's going to remain pretty steady at 2.8. So you can expect prices to remain pretty steady for the rest of the summer.
So the news with the Federal Reserve is they were originally looking at cutting interest rates potentially several times this year. They've now revised that outlook to 1. When might we expect that to happen? Or is that really yet to be determined because it's all based upon the economy, the interest rates, inflation, et cetera?
Yeah, you really hit the nail on the head there. It's really based on the economic data. So as the Fed continues to watch these economic indicators, they're going to keep a close eye on where exactly they should take rates.
So again, people like to plan, especially if you're saving money for a house. What are the factors that could cause the Federal Reserve to decide to cut those interest rates? What should people be on the lookout for as they are looking ahead?
There's a few economic indicators that we want to keep an eye on. So one would be the stock market. Okay, remembering that the stock market is not the economy, and it's important that the Fed is going to continue monitoring that along with the housing market and what rental prices are doing. So those are some economic indicators that the Fed will be following, as well as they have shared their projections, right? So the projections are that that by the end of the year, we're going to be looking at about 2.8%. And so as the Fed is following these economic indicators, these are things that we can be keeping abreast of to know exactly where they're going to go with rates.
Jacqueline, before we let you go, is there anything in particular that you would want to share with our Live Now from Fox viewers?
Yeah, I think that is really key that you're taking advantage of where rates are right now. So if you are a saver, like we have a lot of clients at Golden Wealth Strategies, it's important that you are focused on ways that you can make more money in this economy, and saving and looking into those savings rates. You're getting about 4 to 5% on those options. Those are really, really great places for conservative investors.
All right, Jacqueline, thank you so much for joining us here on Live Now.